It was February. And for about 4 months, pretty solid, every single morning she woke up desperately desiring one thing. She wanted to get the family off to work and school, leave the messy house, and escape to a hotel room that was clean. She wanted to get in a big bathtub because she lived in a tiny apartment and she just wanted a bath. She wanted to get into that bath and she wanted to slit her wrists and bleed out. For 4 months, she desired that every single day. I knew this girl my whole life. I watched her grow up. I knew her intimately. When she was young, oh, she came to this world sparkly and entertaining and sassy and had joy and laughter for all things. She loved to laugh. She loved to be a jokester. She loved to share. And it was always, hey, get her here. She's going to be amazing. Hey, did you remember this girl? She just always had so much life in her. And she always had a service heart. She just loved everybody and wanted to support what they were doing and wanted to support them wholly in everything that they were. Well, the love of pleasing, the love of entertaining, the love of keeping people happy, and the love of seeing them happy, combined with, as most, an unhealthy home life, a dysfunctional home life, created in her a space where that's all she did was everybody else. And as time went by and life went by, she started losing more and more of herself. And I watched this and I tried to talk to her about it. I tried to convince her. I tried to show her. I tried to guide her. And she just, it wasn't there. She didn't understand. And everything was too hard and too heavy. And she just kept losing herself, getting more and more mired in her situation. There's in recent history, there's a Buddhist, a golden Buddha that was discovered in Thailand. And they had discovered this was golden, but they didn't know this because it was covered in plaster and all of the materials all around it. And they went to go move this thing, and it had a crack in the plaster, and they realized this is golden underneath. And through history and searching, researching, and the historians got involved, they realized that through time, there had been people coming to the village to steal and take from the village. And so the villagers had actually covered up the Buddha and protected it. And I think about her with that Buddha because as time went on, she was covering up what she was and acting in these modalities that served the family, that protected her. And so her gold got more and more covered up. And as time went on, it just manifested in some really egregious ways. And every turn, reminding her, you're phenomenal. I wish you could see it. I wish you could know who I see you to be. And at every turn, it just got worse and worse. And she just kept serving others. And it manifested in bulimia. It manifested in obesity. It manifested in in her romantic life in a terrible way. She just kept unfolding all of these processes of dealing with the world around her that completely covered her. So she was just getting more and more plaque on her gold, if you will. And as time went on, she hit a point where she had been in so much service to everyone else for so long that she completely lost sight of who she was, and now she had no hope. And day after day, she woke thinking, this is all I want. If I could be about none of these people right now, I'd be gone. And why can't I be gone? And yet this is just another way that they were denying her what she wanted for herself. And I say this all to you because that girl was me. And there was a time where there was the two polarized Katies. There was the Katie who was in service to everyone, who had so many addictions, who all she did was cover her gold. And there was the Katie that knew the gold was there, knew how spectacular she was when she came to this planet. I believe and know that we all have that inside of us. And it's an evolution. It's a turning. As time went on, she realized, wait a minute, there's more for me. And there was this crazy question that came up in her life. What do I prefer? What do I prefer? Well, at first she didn't know, what do I prefer? How can I answer that? I've never gotten to do anything I prefer, or even have that thought in my whole entire life. And now you're asking me, what do I prefer? And actually, quite frankly, that's an offensive question, because none of this has been about what I freaking prefer. Okay, wait a minute. That's a new question. I don't have the answer. Okay, Sage Katie knows, wow, by simply asking that, I actually got a little closer to maybe some of that plaque coming off the gold. And then I asked the question, and then I listened for an answer. Wait, somebody's listening to Katie now. Is there a voice in there? What's happening there? And after a while, on the littlest things, I kind of knew what I prefer. Did I prefer right now to do these dishes or go sit over here? Well, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to sit over here. And with that exercise, I got better and better. And as time went on, I got closer and closer to who I was. And it's all about source energy and what we come to this world with, and the way that the world chisels away and takes away from it. And thinking about the theme of tonight's talk about, somebody that you were there for in spite of themselves. There has been no greater person for me to be there for and trying to convey and convince and redirect than that version of Katie. They were so unaligned. And now I say to myself, self, it had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around till I finally found somebody who would validate me and take what I said for real and not put their needs before mine and show up in a way that was really a real relationship. Nobody can love you until you love yourself.